I came across this tweet. Turn my volume. I came across this. Here we go. I came across this tweet from Jason Fried. I wanted to show you real quick, and it is for a video of a demo reel. I came across this tweet from Jason Fried, the founder of Basecamp, and he linked to a keynote. I ended up watching this keynote, and it's amazing. I've never heard of the company before. It's Tip Top. I want to watch this right now. It's perfect how they set this up. And this type of video that we're about to watch, you can do this. You don't need high production that you're about to see in this. It's all based on the script and how you set up the problem and walk through this. And if you're thinking about launching and you're thinking about making your own keynote video, but you think like, hey, I don't have all of this stuff, you could do this with a webcam and a slide deck, and it'd be just as powerful. Let's watch it, and I'll pause it here and there just to add my 2 cents. But how they set this problem up, how they go through this, it's only 6 minutes long. Let's watch it. Let's check it out.
Hi, I'm Bastian Lehman with TipTop. Today we're launching an entirely new way for you to pay for things. There are lots of ways for people to pay for stuff right now.
There is no soundtrack in this video. You hear the air conditioner in the Brooklyn warehouse that they're shooting this from. If you're wondering how they do this, it's a full shot, wide shot of someone. This is empty blank space. And then they just in post animate a tilted screen, do a little perspective, add a little drop shadow, and it's basically just a slideshow. You could do this yourself. So film yourself full head to toe, add some headroom for the big screen, and you can make it happen. I saw this. Go to the WAP 3.0 keynote. They did this same effect as well. Let's start it over. Sorry. There's no sound. There's no music, audio. It's just ambient noise and the script.
Hi, I'm Bastian Lehman with TipTop. Today we're launching an entirely new way for you to pay for things. There are lots of ways for people to pay for stuff right now. Credit cards, Apple Pay, PayPal, or even pay over time plans. These services are convenient, easy to use, and are available everywhere. But making it easy to pay doesn't make things more affordable. Everything is getting more expensive, and you're often forced to...
I love that line. It's making it easier to pay doesn't mean making it more affordable. So what he's doing right now, he's getting you to agree. You're nodding your head more and more. You're like, oh yeah, I've seen these. Oh yeah, I've seen these. I agree with you. This is how you set up an argument. You get the person on your side by just slowly making very basic, agreeable statements. And then at the very end, you go, yeah, yes. You say yes 3 times, and then on the 4th one, it's like, oh, and then they flip it
off right now. Credit cards, Apple Pay, PayPal, or even pay over time plans. These services are convenient, easy to use, and are available everywhere. But making it easy to pay doesn't make things more affordable. Everything is getting more expensive, and you're often forced to pay for something in full that you may want to replace in just a year or 2. And that's not even getting into how hard it is to sell things. Of course you can sell used item on marketplaces, but the effort of taking photos, listing, boxing, and shipping is a lot.
Great contrast again. Buying is easy, selling is hard. Now he's setting up this problem of like, I want to do trade-ins, I want to sell my used items, my used iPhone, and he's going to set this problem up.
And you deal with unknown buyers, fraud, and high fees, all with no guarantee of a sale. Now, it turns out that there is something that does tackle those problems. It has been around for a while, and it's called trade-in. Trade-in is a great concept. It makes buying new products more affordable, allows you to trade up.
Simple slides, you're hearing what he says. Like you don't need, when you're building these slides, you don't need 6 bullet points per slide, 12 bullet points per slide, headline. It's just simple stuff, simple. That is, what is the core deep emotional message that is just almost so plain and easy and simple that it's obvious. And again, very agreeable. Yes, trade-in is a win-win-win.
To new versions when they're released, and you sell something you no longer need at the same time. It's a win-win-win. The trade-in market is huge. The average US household holds around $2,500 worth of goods that can be traded in. It's also growing in popularity, and for good reason. Many consumer goods and electronics last longer than ever, and often retain a lot of value at the time you upgrade. But even with all this opportunity, there is no real market leader in trade-in. There are startups like Backmarket and Declutter, and large companies like Apple or Samsung that are mostly focused on getting you to upgrade to their own new devices.
You're like, okay, again, another basic, obvious fact where you're like, oh, yes, I've heard of these companies before. Yes, Apple does have a phone trade-in system. Yes.
No one has quite found the recipe yet. Well, we think.
Like, you go into these keynotes not really knowing what they're about to talk about, and by the end of it, it's a problem you didn't know that you had, and now you're like, can't stop thinking about it. That's how good a keynote
I think we found it. Heavily focused on getting you to upgrade to their own new devices. But no one has quite found the recipe yet. Well, we think we found it.
That's a great line. No one's found the recipe yet, and the same one was in the Rabbit R1 keynote. It's like, yeah, a lot of people have made attempts at this, and they've made pretty good, solid attempts at this, but no one's quite figured it out. But we think we've figured it out. Or we might, it's very soft language. Like, hey, we might have figured it out.
A very elegant way to make trade-in that much better. Let's take a look at the existing trade-in programs. You can use trade-in at network providers like AT&T or Verizon, but that often means signing up for expensive, opaque contracts. Or you can use something like Apple's trade-in program. It's pretty good, but it has a limited catalog, and your trade-in can only go towards Apple products. Then there are trade-in platforms that work with many kinds of devices, but they require you to send in your item before they give you a credit. And that process can take weeks. You can also trade in at retail stores, but they offer less value, and often only as store credit. Turns out, these programs are good for the companies offering them, not the people using them.
Again, all those were like very simple, obvious statements, and even that last one, I was like, yeah, these are great for the companies, but not for you, the consumer. And it's like, yeah, this is... Like, he's setting up the problem. He's covering all the ground that this problem entails. Every last bit of it, we're like, hey, look, he's an expert at this problem. He's thought about this problem extensively. That's what you need to do with your own company. That's what you need to do with the app or the product that you're building right now. Figure out the problem and map it out entirely. Go from edge to edge on all the different facets of this problem, ins and outs, ups and like every last bit. And then you spell that out to your customer. And when you spell out the problem, it's great. Like in a sales letter, in copywriting, when you spell out the problem, when you entirely map it out. Like even just, a simple copywriting thing I do sometimes is I will just, in a sales letter, I will list 20 bullet points of all the problems that a customer is facing. And they read all 20 of them, or they read 10 of them, or they skim through, and I have nailed every single problem that they are feeling. And if you can get your customer to read that, or read something like this, or watch your video and completely agree with every problem that you've mapped out, like if you perfectly map it out for them, they're with you. They understand. They're like, whatever you were about to say next, I'm with you because you clearly understand every problem that I have, or every part of this problem that I'm having right now.
And often only as store credit. Turns out, these programs are good for the companies offering them, not the people using them. What if someone was to decide to build a trade-in program that puts the customer first? Well, that's what we decided to do. And that's TipTop.
Great setup. What if someone did this? Or the one's like, imagine if somebody did this. Imagine if somebody actually solved this problem. Well, I think we've solved it.
TipTop is a trade-in program that allows you to trade in something you own when you buy something new, right at checkout. TipTop also gives you instant credit for your trade-in, and it offers the largest trade-in catalog available. Over 50,000 items. That's almost $280 billion worth of goods sitting in U.S. households today. In other words, you can trade in almost anything you own to buy something new. And we think that's pretty incredible. Let's look at TipTop's main features.
So we are 4 minutes out of 6 minutes. We've set up the problem. We have extensively set up the problem in a great way. Introduce the solution. Here's what we do. And now for the last 2 minutes, we're going to do a demo. Just show you the features. We're going to walk you through how TipTop works. That's how you should kind of set up your Keynote as well. It's really focusing on the problem, laying it out, mapping it out entirely. Introduce, hey, our new solution. We think we found the solution. Introducing the name of your product. And then you go into this feature demo like they're about to do.
First, it lives right at checkout. Trade in your item when you're paying for something new, right where you expect it. Next, you get instant credit for your trade-in. No more waiting for your trade-in credit. It has buy now, pay later, built right in. TipTop's Pay in 4 with zero interest means low initial costs. And shipping your trade-in is also easier than ever. You can use a prepaid QR code, or you can even have an on-demand courier come pick it up. So, TipTop lives right at the checkout, offers instant credit, lets you pay in 4, and offers the easiest way to have your item shipped to us.
This is another thing we talk about all the time, feature overload. This is great. When you're talking about your Keynote, TipTop probably has 20, 30, 40, 50 features inside of it. It's very tempting to talk about all those features and want to go through everything. They've narrowed it down here to 4. And these aren't really features. Like, these are half features, half benefits. Checkout is like, that's the aspect of it. That would be a feature. Instant credit is part feature, part benefit. I say part benefit because, like, it's something that I want. But it's like, it's something I receive. It's not some part of the, or maybe it is a feature. I don't know. Well, you know, you get it. Pay in 4. This is what I want to talk about though. Pay in 4. You're naming and claiming it. They could have just said buy now, pay later, or payment plan. They call it Pay in 4. So it's name and claim it. When you name and claim something, it's like so simple and perfect where you go, dang, I should have thought of that. That's so, like, I get it. There's nothing fancy about it, and you get what they mean. Pay in 4. And then easy shipping, they've limited it to 4. So when you're building your Keynote, 3 to 4, max 5 features that you really want to dive into and talk about.
Using TipTop to pay is so incredibly easy. Let's buy something together. Here's Cradlewise, one of our great retail partners.
Great sound effect. Just dive you right into this. And it's also social proof. They're like, hey, Cradlewise are a great partner. They could have just shown a generic checkout and say, let's buy something. Instead, they go with some
easy
social proof.
Let's buy something together. Here's Cradlewise, one of our great retail partners. We choose TipTop at checkout, browse the trade-in catalog, or search for the item we like to trade in, confirm the trade-in value.
This is simple, great UI demonstration. There's nothing, they don't have to do like any 3D animations, good sound effects, simple. I can, like, if I were just watching the center of this screen, that's all I need to focus on.
Let's buy something together. Here's Cradlewise.
Simple, got some motion here.
Great retail partners.
They're clearly going after Klarna. Like, we are an alternative.
The trading catalog or search for the item we like to trade in.
Simple.
Confirm the trade-in value. Choose to pay in full or pay in 4. And that's it. It's so easy. No fees on your purchase. Instant credit. And the easiest shipping options out there.
Yeah, this is for the Keynote, this is great. surface level enough demonstration of how it works where you get the gist. You probably have a little couple extra questions, but they're minor questions. They're not like you want to see exactly how it works, but they've given you enough of a demo to show you how the feature works where you're like, okay, I think I get it. I understand how this works.
We know you're going to want to use it everywhere you shop. That's why we also made it very easy for merchant partners to offer TipTop.
So now this is where you go into use cases. This is where you go into future pacing. This is where we've set up the problem, talk about the solution, show you how it works, and now we're going to give you some examples and let your kind of mind wander of like, oh, look at all the endless possibilities that we have using this new TipTop.
Merchant partners can add it to their checkout flow in a matter of minutes, and they pay no upfront fees. We've built friendly, easy-to-use installation options for Shopify.
Yeah, now we're talking to there's two customers in this. There's the people buying, the customer consumer side, and then there's the back-end seller side who, like, they're asking, can I add this to my checkout? Can I add this to my e-commerce site?
And for direct integrations. And Adobe, Salesforce, BigCommerce, and many other e-commerce platforms are next.
Yeah, just a quick showing you like that's probably an FAQ like does this as a seller, does this work on my site? They give you a very simple, it's almost like we're just looking at their website. Oh, we are.
For Shopify and for direct integrations. And Adobe, Salesforce, BigCommerce, and many other e-commerce platforms are next.
Yep. Simple.
We're proud to launch TipTop today.
And then you end with social proof.
With the help of some great partners. Try TipTop here and soon everywhere. Thank you.
TipTop.com. They followed our advice. Go to TipTop.com. They didn't end with the logo. TipTop.com. And that's it. 6 minutes. Very simple. You spend 4 minutes setting up the problem. 90 seconds going through the features, 30 seconds of social proof and a call to action. That is it. A great keynote. I'll link it down below this video. I'm telling you, you could have done this. You yourself can make this. You don't need all this fancy stuff. You could just, like, he's basically doing a slideshow. This is a fancy slideshow. You can do this slideshow here. You have a webcam. You don't need to be in a studio. You don't need to have a Brooklyn penthouse right here. You just need to just set up the problem. You need to set up the problem for your customers. Get them to agree with you. Yes, these are a problem. Yes, this is a problem. And then bring them over to this new world that you want to create. Your new solution. So, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. My name is Jordan Anderson with Nicely Studio. Be sure to subscribe here. Click the links down below. Check out our free training. And I'll see you in the next one.